Captain Dae-hyun Park stood at the command center of Earth's orbital station, his eyes fixed on the massive alien ship approaching. It was sleek and silver, unlike anything humans had built. After decades of searching the stars, aliens had finally found Earth. "Sir, they're slowing down," said Lieutenant Jun Kim, monitoring the sensors. "They'll reach orbit in 5 minutes." Dae-hyun nodded but said nothing. His mind was racing. This moment would change human history forever. The room fell silent as the alien vessel settled into a stable orbit above Earth. Everyone waited. Then a light flashed on the communication panel. "They're hailing us," Jun said, his voice shaking slightly. "Put them through," Dae-hyun ordered, straightening his uniform. The main screen flickered to life, showing a tall being with smooth blue skin and large, intelligent eyes. It spoke in perfect English. "Greetings, people of Earth. I am Ambassador Toral of the Galactic Confederation. We have been observing your world for some time and believe you are ready to join our community of worlds." Dae-hyun bowed slightly. "We are honored by your presence, Ambassador. I am Captain Park, representing Earth's United Council." The alien smiled. At least Dae-hyun thought it was a smile. "Your species is young, but promising. The Confederation welcomes developing civilizations. We will guide your growth." Something in the alien's tone made Dae-hyun uncomfortable. There was kindness there, but also something else. Condescension? 3 days later, Dae-hyun sat in a large meeting room with Earth's leaders as Ambassador Toral explained the Confederation's structure. "Your planet will be given observer status for now," Toral said. "In time, as you advance, you may earn voting rights." President Jin stood up. "And what does Earth offer the Confederation?" Toral's expression didn't change. "Your culture is interesting. To us. Some of your resources may be useful. But truthfully, Earth has little to offer technologically or militarily. You will benefit far more from this arrangement than we will." In the back of the room, General Yoon-ji Choi listened quietly. Only she and a few others knew Earth's true capabilities. Military technology developed in secret for decades, hidden from the world's own population. Later that night, Dae-hyun met with General Choi in a secure underground facility beneath Seoul. The room was shielded from all possible surveillance. "What do you think of our new friends?" Yoon-ji asked, her face serious in the dim light. Dae-hyun chose his words carefully. "They see us as children. Primitives." "Good." Yoon-ji nodded. "That's exactly what we want." She pressed her hand against a scanner, and a hidden door slid open. They walked into a vast chamber that few humans knew existed. Inside were rows of advanced spacecraft, weapons systems beyond what was publicly known, and technology that rivaled what they had seen on the alien vessel. "Operation Silent Shield remains in effect," Yoon-ji said. "No one can know what we have here. Not even our own people, and certainly not the Confederation." "You think they're a threat?" Dae-hyun asked. "I don't know yet, but throughout human history, when a technologically advanced civilization meets a seemingly primitive one, it rarely ends well for the latter." She touched one of the sleek ships. "This is our insurance." The next week, Earth signed the Confederation Treaty. Humans were assigned minor diplomatic posts. Alien advisors arrived to help Earth advance. They were polite but always slightly dismissive. At a reception for the new alien diplomats, Dae-hyun watched as they explained simple concepts to Earth scientists who had to pretend they didn't already understand far more advanced principles. Ambassador So-young Lee approached him, holding a drink. "Hard to watch, isn't it?" she whispered. "Very," he replied, "but necessary." "I've been assigned to the Confederation Central Council," she told him. "Junior observer status only. They don't think much of us." "Learn everything you can," Dae-hyun said. "Make them believe we're harmless and grateful." So-young nodded. "And if they ever become a threat? Then they'll learn what humans are really capable of." As the Confederation representatives mingled with Earth's carefully selected diplomats, none of them noticed the subtle satellites monitoring their every move. or suspected that far beneath the mountain ranges and oceans of Earth, a military force was preparing just in case. Dae-hyun watched an alien diplomat laughing at a human's primitive understanding of space travel. He smiled politely, all while knowing that humanity's greatest strength was being underestimated. For now, Earth would play its role as the Confederation's newest, most humble member, and they would wait. 2 years had passed since Earth joined the Galactic Confederation. Ambassador Jiwoo Kang sat in the back row of the Grand Council chamber, watching the panic spread among the alien representatives. On the main display, red dots showed planets that had fallen to the scourge, a mysterious hostile force from beyond known space. Another 3 systems lost this week, announced High Commander Telnar, a tall being with metallic skin. The scourge shows no interest in communication. They only destroy. Jiwoo noticed how the other diplomats moved away from her and the small Earth delegation. Humans were still seen as newcomers, barely worth consulting in important matters. "We must protect our core worlds," said a representative from Naxos, one of the oldest Confederation members. "The outer sectors will have to fend for themselves." Jiwoo's communicator vibrated silently. She glanced down at the encrypted message. "Intel confirm, scourge changing course, Earth sector now, primary target." She kept her face calm as fear rose inside her. The Confederation was planning to abandon Earth's sector to save themselves. After the meeting, Jiwoo approached Commander Telnar. "My people are concerned about the scourge. Will the Confederation defend Earth if needed?" Telnar looked down at her with what seemed like pity. "We will provide what support we can, but your planet's defensive capabilities are minimal. Perhaps evacuation of your leadership might be arranged." "I see," Jiwoo said, bowing slightly. "Thank you for your honesty." On her private ship returning to Earth, Jiwoo contacted President Sunmi Park through a secure channel that the Confederation couldn't monitor. "They're going to sacrifice us," Jiwoo reported. "They think we can't defend ourselves." "Let them think that," President Park replied. "General Choi, please update the ambassador." The screen split to show General Yoon-ji Choi in a dimly lit command center deep beneath Earth's surface. "Operation Silent Shield is fully operational," Yoon-ji said. "Our stealth satellites have mapped every Confederation ship movement. We've analyzed their weapons and defensive systems. If they abandon us, we're ready." "And the Scourge?" Jiwoo asked. "We've been studying them too. Their attack patterns, their technology. We believe we can defend against them, but the Confederation doesn't need to know that yet." Back on Earth, Colonel Hyun-Woo Lee walked through an enormous underground hangar. Hundreds of advanced spacecraft sat ready for launch, ships no alien had ever seen. For generations, Earth had secretly built its defenses, knowing that one day they might encounter hostile forces among the stars. "How much longer until we're fully prepared?" he asked Chief Engineer Min-Soo Yoon. "The last defense platforms are in position, disguised as communication satellites," Min-Soo replied. "Weapons systems are at 98%. The fleet is ready." "And the Confederation suspects nothing?" "No. Their scans only see what we want them to see. An underdeveloped planet with basic space technology, in orbit around Jupiter, hidden among the gas giant's many moons." Captain Han Jae-kwan commanded Earth's largest stealth battleship. His crew monitored the edges of the solar system, watching for any sign of the scourge. "Contact," called out his sensor officer. "Multiple ships just entered the system. They're not Confederation." Han Jae studied the readings. "Scourge scout vessels, they're testing our defenses." "Should we engage?" asked his first officer. "No. Let them think we're defenseless. Send a distress call to the Confederation. Let's see if they come to help." The Scourge ships moved slowly through the outer planets, scanning everything. When they detected Earth satellites, they made no aggressive moves, yet. In the Confederation headquarters, Jiwoo watched as the emergency message from Earth was received. She already knew what would happen. "We cannot spare ships to defend." "Earth at this time," High Commander Telnar announced. "The planet has minimal strategic value. We will monitor the situation." Jiwoo said nothing. She simply sent a coded message back to Earth. Confirm abandonment. Proceed as planned. President Park received the message in her secure bunker. She turned to General Yunji. They've left us to die. As we expected, Yunji replied. Shall we show them what humans are really capable of? Not yet. Let's wait until the Scourge commits, their main force. When they think we're helpless, when the Confederation is watching our destruction from a safe distance, then we reveal our strength. Across Earth, military personnel moved quietly to their positions. Defense systems were prepared, hidden fleets stood ready, and beyond Neptune, the first wave of the Scourge battle fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel, their weapons already, charging, unaware that Earth was far from the easy target they believed it to be. The Scourge attack began without warning. 50 massive warships appeared at the edge of the solar system, their black hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Smaller fighters poured from their sides like angry insects from a disturbed nest. Ambassador Jiwoo Kang stood in the Confederation Emergency Command Center, watching the monitors with carefully controlled anger. Around her, alien officials spoke in hushed, nervous tones. The Earth system is lost, said Commander Telnar, not even looking at Jiwoo. We must protect our core worlds. You promised support, Jiwoo said quietly. We cannot waste resources. On a primitive world, another official replied. Your species was warned. The Scourge is too powerful. On the main screen, the few Confederation ships that had been stationed near Earth were already retreating, leaving humanity's homeworld exposed and seemingly defenseless. At least allow us to evacuate some of our people, Jiwoo pleaded, playing her role perfectly. There is no time, Telnar said. I am sorry. Jiwoo bowed her head, hiding a small smile. Then I must return to my planet, to die with my people. Before anyone could stop her, she left the command center and hurried to her small diplomatic vessel. Once inside, she activated a secure communication channel. They've abandoned us, as expected, she reported to President Sunmi Park. The Scourge will reach Earth in 6 hours. Return quickly, Ambassador, the President replied. You'll want to see what happens next. The Scourge fleet moved through the solar system with brutal efficiency. Their advanced ships destroyed monitoring stations and the few visible defense platforms. They detected no significant resistance, just as their intelligence had suggested. Earth was weak, technologically primitive compared to other Confederation worlds. In her command center, deep beneath a mountain range, General Yoonji Choi watched the enemy approach. Behind her stood President Park and the recently returned Ambassador Jiwoo. All personnel are in position, Yoonji reported. Defense systems are active but concealed. The enemy suspects nothing. Begin Operation Silent Shield, President Park ordered. Yoonji nodded to her communications officer. Transmit the activation code. Throughout the solar system, what had appeared to be ordinary satellites and space debris suddenly came to life. Hidden military bases on the Moon and Mars powered up weapon systems. Asteroid bases revealed concealed hangars where fighters waited. And beneath Earth's oceans and mountains, massive doors opened to launch sites. The first Scourge ships reached Mars's orbit when Earth sprung its trap. A barrage of energy weapons fired from the Martian moons, catching the alien vessels by surprise. Advanced missiles emerged from hidden silos on the red planet's surface. Within minutes, a dozen Scourge ships were destroyed. What is happening? Demanded the Scourge commander, his voice translating over intercepted communications. This planet should have no such weapons. In the Confederation Command Center, aliens gathered around screens in disbelief as Earth's true military power was revealed. Impossible, whispered Commander Telnar. They were primitive. The second wave of Earth's defense activated as the Scourge pressed their attack. From behind Jupiter's moons, Captain Han Jae-kwan led Earth's hidden fleet into battle. All ships attack pattern Delta, he commanded. Show them what humans can do when threatened. 100 warships built in secret over decades moved in perfect formation. Their stealth technology, more advanced than anything the Confederation possessed, allowed them to strike without warning. Their weapons, designed specifically for space combat, tore through Scourge shields that had resisted Confederation attacks. On Earth, Colonel Hyun-Woo Lee directed the planetary defense grid. "Activate the orbital platforms," he ordered. "What?" The Scourge and Confederation had believed were simple communication satellites suddenly transformed, revealing powerful weapon systems. "The humans deceived us all," said a Confederation scientist analyzing the battle. "Their technology rivals our best systems. How did they hide this?" The Scourge commander, facing unexpected resistance, ordered his remaining ships to concentrate. On Earth itself, 20 massive warships moved toward the blue planet, charging their main weapons. "They're preparing to fire on major cities," reported Min Soo-yoon from Earth's defense headquarters. "Reveal the final layer," General Eun-ji ordered. Earth's atmosphere itself seemed to shift as camouflage defense platforms became visible. A protective energy shield unlike any technology known to the Confederation surrounded the planet. The Scourge weapons fired, pouring destructive energy toward Earth. The shield absorbed the attack, glowing bright blue but holding firm. "Return. Fire," President Park commanded. From every continent, powerful beam weapons activated. The coordinated assault struck the Scourge fleet simultaneously. Ships that had terrorized dozens of worlds began to explode, unable to defend against Earth's hidden strength. In the Confederation Command Center, Commander Telner watched in stunned silence as the humans not only defended themselves, but began to push the dreaded Scourge back. "We should assist them," suggested one of his officers. "No," Telnar replied quietly. "I think we need to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about humans." Admiral Min-ho Kang stood on the bridge of the EDF Vengeance, Earth's largest battleship. 3 weeks had passed since the initial Scourge attack, and now it was humanity's turn to take the fight to the enemy. Around his ship, 200 vessels of Earth's hidden fleet moved in formation, preparing to jump to faster-than-light speed. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said his second-in-command, Captain Soo-jin Lee. Min-ho nodded. "Send the message to Earth Command. The counteroffensive begins now." In the Confederation Central Command, alien leaders gathered around holographic displays showing the battle data from Earth. None of them could believe what they were seeing. "Their ships use propulsion technology we've never encountered," said the Confederation's chief scientist. "And their weapons, they're cutting through Scourge shields like they're not even there." Commander Telnar watched silently. He had underestimated these humans, as had everyone in the Confederation. The thought made him uncomfortable. A communication request flashed on the main screen. When Telnar accepted it, Ambassador Ji Woo-kang's face appeared. Her expression was polite but firm. "Commander Telnar, Earth is launching a counteroffensive against the Scourge. We will pursue them back to their staging area and eliminate the threat." Telnar tried to regain his authority. "This is unwise, Ambassador. The Confederation Military Council has not approved." Ji Woo cut him off. "We are not asking for permission. We are informing you as a courtesy. Earth was abandoned by the Confederation. We will defend ourselves." Before Telnar could respond, another face appeared on the screen. General Eun-ji Choi. "Your ships are welcome to join our offensive," the general said calmly. "But they will follow Earth Command. Our tactics have proven effective against the Scourge. Yours have not." In deep space, Admiral Min-ho led the Earth fleet to the Scourge staging area. Intelligence gathered during the initial battle had revealed the location. As they dropped out of FTL travel, the massive Scourge base came into view, a sprawling structure built into a large asteroid. "They've detected us," reported the sensor officer. "Enemy ships launching." "Deploy fighters, Pattern Omega," Min-ho ordered. "Main fleet, prepare the new sonic disruptors." Earth's fighters swarmed forward, moving in formations that confused the Scourge targeting systems. These small ships darted between larger enemy vessels, their pilots using maneuvers developed from centuries of aerial combat on Earth. On one fighter, pilot Taewon Bei rolled his ship between 2 Scourge cruisers. "Target locked," he reported, firing disruptors. The new weapons didn't damage the Scourge ships directly. Instead, they created energy patterns that interfered with the aliens' communication and navigation systems. Ships that had fought as a perfect unit suddenly couldn't coordinate their actions. The Scourge rely too much on unified control, General Unji had explained during the mission briefing. Break that connection, and they become vulnerable. From the Confederation observation vessel, Commander Telnar watched in amazement. A small group of Confederation ships had joined the Earth fleet, but they mostly stayed back observing the human tactics. They fight like no species I've ever seen, Telnar's tactical officer noted. Each ship seems to make independent decisions, yet they maintain perfect coordination. That's the advantage of having a history filled with warfare, Telnar replied grimly. These humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. They understand battle in ways we never had to learn. On the Vengeance, Admiral Minho directed the main assault. All ships focus fire on their command center. The Earth fleet moved as one, concentrating their attack on a single point of the Scourge base. The aliens tried to adapt, but human commanders kept changing tactics, never using the same approach twice. Sir, Captain Sujin reported, we're receiving a transmission from the Confederation. They're requesting to speak with you directly. Minho nodded. Put them through. Commander Telnar's image appeared on screen. Admiral, the Confederation Council has met in emergency session. We would like to coordinate our efforts with Earth. Minho allowed himself a small smile. We welcome your assistance, Commander. Please have your ships form up as our rear guard. My tactical officer will transmit the necessary protocols. After the call ended, Sujin leaned closer to Minho. They're scared of us now, aren't they? Not just scared, Minho replied. They're realizing that the galaxy's balance of power has shifted. The battle continued for hours. Slowly but surely, the Earth forces dismantled the Scourge defenses, using tactics that seemed chaotic to outside observers but followed careful plans developed through thousands of simulations. When the last Scourge ship retreated, Admiral Minho opened a channel. To all Earth vessels, Phase 1 complete. Prepare for deep space pursuit. The Scourge threatened our home. Now we show them why that was their greatest mistake. The Earth fleet regrouped, repaired what damage they could, and prepared to push deeper into enemy territory. Behind them, the Confederation ships followed, no longer leading but learning from the species they had once dismissed as primitive. 6 months after the initial Scourge attack on Earth, the combined fleet under Admiral Minho's command entered orbit around the smoldering remains of the Scourge homeworld. The final battle had lasted 3 days. Now, silence filled space where once the most feared armada in the galaxy had waited. Confirm all enemy ships destroyed, Minho ordered, his voice tired but firm. Confirmed, Admiral, replied Captain Sujin. No Scourge vessels remain operational. Their central command structure is destroyed. Minho looked at the tactical display showing Earth ships alongside Confederation vessels. What had begun as Earth fighting alone had slowly transformed into a joint operation, though everyone knew who had led the way to victory. Send word to Earth and the Confederation Council, Minho said. The threat is ended. In the newly redesigned council chambers on the Confederation capital world, representatives from 100 species gathered. The room had been changed. Earth now had a prominent position near the center, no longer relegated to the back as a junior member. Ambassador Jiwoo Kang, now bearing the title of High Representative, walked confidently to the speaking platform. The chamber fell silent. For generations, humanity prepared in secret, Jiwoo began. Our history taught us caution. When we first met alien life, we hoped for friendship, but prepared for danger. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably. When the Scourge attacked, the Confederation abandoned Earth, Jiwoo continued, her voice level but firm. We understand. You thought us weak with little to offer. You made a tactical decision. Commander Telnar stood. High Representative, the Confederation acknowledges its error in judgment. We failed Earth as an ally. Jiwoo nodded. And yet here we all stand. The Scourge is defeated. A new day begins for the galaxy. What does Earth want now? Asked a representative from a distant world. Compensation? Control of the council? We want what we always wanted. Jiwoo replied. A galaxy where all species can live safely, where strength protects the weak rather than exploits them. Earth will help build this new order. After the council meeting, a delegation of the highest-ranking Confederation officials traveled to Earth. For most, it was their first visit to the planet they had once dismissed. General Yoon-ji Choi met them at a simple building in the countryside. Nothing about it suggested importance. "This way," she said, leading them to an elevator. The elevator descended for nearly a minute before the doors opened to reveal an enormous underground complex. Alien officials gasped as they saw the true scale of Earth's military command center, a facility that had existed for decades, undetected by their scans. "This is just one of many such installations," Yoon-ji explained, as they walked past rows of advanced computers and tactical displays. "We built them during our Cold War era, then expanded them when we developed space travel." "How did you hide all this?" asked Commander Telnar. "Humans have practiced deception for millennia," Yoon-ji replied. "We developed technologies specifically designed to hide from detection." They entered a vast chamber where engineers worked on what appeared to be a new class of ship. "Our next-generation defense system," Yoon-ji explained. "But now it will protect all Confederation worlds, not just Earth." Later that evening, President Sun-mi Park hosted a dinner for the Confederation leaders. The mood was cautious but hopeful. "Your species is surprising," Commander Telnar said to President Park. "We thought we understood humans." "Understanding takes time," she replied. "And trust. Can there be trust after our abandonment of Earth?" President Park smiled. "Humans have a saying, actions speak louder than words. The Confederation fought beside us in the end. That counts for something." Across the room, Admiral Minho spoke with alien military officers who now treated him with obvious respect. "Your battle tactics were unlike anything we've seen," one officer said. "We've studied warfare for centuries, but your approaches were completely unexpected. Humans had to become good at fighting to survive our own history," Minho explained. "Now we can use that knowledge to protect peace." As the night ended, Jiwoo found herself standing with Commander Telnar on a balcony overlooking the city lights. "Will Earth take leadership of the Confederation now?" Telnar asked directly. "You have the military strength to demand it." Jiwoo shook her head. "We don't want to rule. We want to be equal partners, but we will never allow ourselves to be vulnerable again. And if another threat comes? Then we will face it together," Jiwoo said. "As equals." The next morning, in the secure underground facility, General Yoon-ji signed the new Confederation Defense Treaty. Earth would share some, but not all, of its military technology. In return, all members pledged mutual defense with no world to be abandoned again. As the alien representatives prepared to leave Earth, Commander Telnar approached President Park one last time. "There is a question many of us have wanted to ask," he said. "Why did humans develop such military strength in secret? Were you planning to conquer?" "No," she replied simply. "We were planning to survive. Throughout our history, that's what humans have always done best."